Well, we were talking earlier about how homeless people and artists were brought together for a unique musical collaboration. The aim was to portray through music the individual stories of the homeless.
Well, we introduce to you now 3 of those individuals who took part: Lloyd Benjamin, Asabi Hawa and Kat Tucker.
Sometimes the prophets say the stars and lights and let us pray. And if the darkness comes, we got enough, so let's be brave. Ancient warrior, story your desire rights. Flames across my soul, a fire in my heart ignites. Hold me. Not ready to let go yet. Hold me. Not ready to let go yet. Don't let me fall.
Wow, I love it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. That was amazing.
Listen, we'll start for you, Lloyd. Tell us your background.
Okay. Where do you want me to start? When I met up with Farah, basically I was living in a hostel called Anchor House.
Okay.
So basically that's a hostel for the homeless people, single homeless people, I think from the age of 18 upwards. I've been there from the time when I met Farah for about 2 years. I was unemployed for about a good year or so of that period of time. And then yeah, I went away. Basically, we did a week adventure thing, and that basically just gave me a load of energy. You know, you reassess life. You come away from London, so you know everything. Pace of life actually just slows down, so you can actually time to think. You know, this is what I want to do. Yeah. And from that period of time, I think it was like 3 months after that, I got into a job with Pret a Manger, and basically there was an apprenticeship for people who's basically homeless or you know, who's come from like a criminal background. So I fitted the homeless part. So I was on an apprenticeship for 3 months. And
what was it like being approached for this project? Were you quite cautious, do you think?
Oh yeah, I was thinking, oh, do you know what, is it going to be another just scheme, you know, someone's going to try to help, but they don't really help get to the cause of the issues, you know. But a lady called Eve, she basically asked me to be part of it, and I said, oh, okay, cool, because I've got a lot of respect for her, because she's actually helped me out before. So first session I missed, I think it was it? Yeah. I missed the first session, but then I came back, I came for the second session, and from then that's when I met Kat, and I think it was the second one when I met Asabi, but that's where we just clicked, man. Yeah, it was.
And Kat, you're the poet behind all of this.
Yeah.
Tell us what it was like to take Lloyd's story and to put that into words and into a musical piece.
It was definitely like a really interesting experience because I've never done anything like that before. And as a writer, like I perform fairly often, and it's always like my own stuff, like from my thoughts or my whatever bothers me or anything. It's always my opinion. So you don't have this. The only person you're responsible for is yourself. Like you're not representing anyone else. People might like it, not like it.
Did you find yourself going back to Lloyd with sort of drafts?
Yeah, definitely, because it was kind of like you just have this feeling of uncertainty because it's not you, so it's like you take the time and absorb all the information, and then you kind of try to make something poetic out of it. And it was only like after I'd written each verse one at a time, I showed them to Lloyd first, and then once he said that, yeah, that's okay, then that was kind of when I was able to think, okay, yeah, I've done it now. It didn't feel complete until I'd bounced it off him and he'd approved it.
Yeah. Sabi, what about yourself? Getting involved and then starting to compose on the back of...
Yeah, I mean, I felt quite privileged to be a part of it. I came late in the project because it was hard finding the time with other projects that I do to be involved. So once I got involved, Kat and Lloyd had already worked on things, so I kind of was a bit apprehensive about putting my own spin on it. But yeah, I guess I kind of heard what Kat had come up with. It was easy to put chords to it, and I knew Kat previously from other projects.
Let me ask you both, Kat and Asabi, what was it like listening to some of the stories? What were the emotions you were going through? Because these are real stories now. It's not just thoughts. There's not just experience. You're talking about real people here.
Yeah. It was just really enlightening because every single story was so different, but yet all of them kind of had elements that you could connect to something either that's happened to you or somebody you know. Like some of the stories involved, you know, seeking asylum and those kind of processes. And what was amazing was actually, in particular with Lloyd's story, was the fact that I know people that have been through what Lloyd went through. I've like been good friends with people who have experienced exactly the same kind of scenarios, the same treatment from, you know, local councils and all that kind of stuff. So it was actually quite an eye-opener that it was actually such a common thing, and people that I spoke to afterwards were like, oh yeah, I wrote a song about that because that happened to me in my teens, and it was, yeah, definitely very relatable. And I think for the audience as well, it's good for them to get that kind of really diverse picture of homelessness, which can just be a one-dimensional word sometimes when you see it in the papers.
Farah, tell us a bit more about how anyone can find out about this project, how to get involved, or where indeed they might want to get the music from.
Yeah, sure. We are working on an album right now to capture those 10 amazing stories from the project itself. Just one little thing I'd like to say is that this project took 6 weeks to do with no funding or resources other than people's generosity and support. And we are working on our next project where we'll be working with ex-offenders to give them a platform and a voice. So if you're interested in getting in touch, you could tweet us at upress_, upress, just Google upress in other words.
So
it's easier. Yeah. Google upress and you'll find all the contact details from there, and you can find us on Twitter as well.
Well, thank you very much, and sadly that's all we have time for this evening. A huge thank you to our guests, Farah Mohammed, and
also thank you to Lloyd Benjamin, Kat Tucker and Asabi Hawa, who are taking us out now with their brand new collaboration song, This Is Homeless.
Okay, thank you.
Just 'cause I'm penniless, faith is where my home is. It wasn't the first time I'd been here before, walking through another hostel's doors, only it was the first time doing it alone. Not like when mum was evicted from home. Back then, the family was still strong. Circumstances couldn't break our bond. Though at times we shared our space with roaches who had more freedom to choose where their home is. See, from an early age I bore witness to the poverty trap created by the system. Love was abundant, but love couldn't feed us. When mum broke down, I couldn't pick up the pieces. Was a grown man by the time we got a place, somewhere permanent where we could feel safe. I planted roots and tried to grow my dream, but 4 years on, no fruits on the tree. Tension was building, I knew I had to leave. It weren't a castle, but she deserved to be queen. Came to a point where we argued constantly, and a burden was something that I didn't want to be. Not enough money, not enough space. I could see my frustrations all over her face. Peace became something we couldn't sustain. I was causing her pain, so I became homeless. Doesn't mean I'm hopeless. Doesn't mean I'm any less just 'cause I'm penniless. Faith is where my home is. Wondering why I lost my smile. Is it in one of these bags here by my side? Is it waiting for me somewhere at some point in life, or has it left me for the face of some other guy? I can't lie, I'm hardly eating, and sometimes it feels like my heart's hardly beating. The way people look straight through me in the street like I'm broken, worthless, incomplete. And the council, it's like they want to charge me for breathing, like my existence is an inconvenience. What, not a pregnant woman, not on hard drugs, so my need for shelter didn't seem like enough. Found myself anchored at a house with so many, yet unbearably lonely. My soul feeling heavy, spirit caged behind its walls waiting to be set free. But looking back, I'm thankful for all the ways they helped me. I made the most of a bad situation, rose from the depths of depression with motivation, never giving up despite the obstacles I'm facing. My dreams are intact, so is my determination. I learned that inner peace is a form of success, and despite how some may judge me, to believe in myself. Faith is my palace, that's where I choose to dwell. Faith is my palace, so I can never truly be homeless. Doesn't mean I'm hopeless. Doesn't mean I'm any less just 'cause I'm penniless. Faith is where my home is. Homeless doesn't mean I'm soulless. Doesn't mean I'm any less just 'cause I'm penniless. Faith is where my home is.
It don't matter who you are, if you're from Earth or Mars. It don't matter who you are, ugly caterpillars, beautiful butterflies. Let us grow in our skin, I call it metamorphing. I'm not a product of my nospin, my nature's to grow, I don't need rewarding. Give me a chance to be something, I don't care where I've been. Judge me on where I'm heading, I lost my route, but I still got direction. Ugly caterpillars, beautiful butterflies. You saw me crawl, now I fly. Ugly caterpillars, beautiful butterflies. You saw me crawl, now I fly. Don't ever get it twisted, never met one who hasn't been afflicted. Battle of phone system got us on a hit list.